So let me not take much of your time and introduce our guest for today, right? Have you seen Heather? Have you seen Bajrangi Bhaijaan? Of course. And that is where he has acted. He is also an international TEDx speaker with highest talks delivered, not only in India, globally. He's been a face and a board member at International Film Festival. He's acted since the age of 5 and he's been there into acting. But that doesn't stop there. He is also a defense expert, a defense analyst, and has worked for the country. And Major, salute you for that. He's also a very active member and a debate specialist when it comes to news channel like Aaj Tak, Z News, Times Now, CNN, CNBC, and the list goes on. He specializes in converting negatives into positive. I'm not talking about Corona. He talks about converting the negative emotions into positive emotions. He converts disadvantages into advantages and weaknesses into strength. He is full of energy and full of optimism. I met him recently in MS Talks, where he was a judge for the first public speaking competition. And let me tell you, I was mesmerized by his personality. He is really amazing. So, welcome, Major. Welcome to the show.
Sagar bhai, good evening everyone who's watching us. Hi, Deepak Amlani. Udan is watching. Srinivas, Deepam, Shefali. Hello.
Hello, everyone. So, sir, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having me over, Sagar bhai.
Brilliant. So, sir, while we are having this conversation, before we get into that, I would love to know, what does crossroads mean to you?
Crossroads for me means, in life, all of us come at a crossroad in life. All of us. जिंदगी के हर रास्ते पे आपको दो रास्ते मिलेंगे और कौन सा रास्ता लेना है कौन सा रास्ता नहीं लेना है, you have to decide. Now, many times to decide. Like when I was serving in the army, we only get a split second to take a decision. When we are under fire, for example, when you're firing at the enemy or the insurgents, and you have to decide कि वहां से आया. That's a crossroad. After graduation, when people have to decide what career do I take up, that is a crossroad. After your 10th, whether I take up arts, commerce, science, is a crossroad. Whether I choose between this or this is a crossroad. And of course, now it has become a trademark, a benchmark. I would say that for me, crossroad means the book I just read recently by a brilliant author by the name of Sagar Amlani. So that is what now image that's the cover of that book, the design comes to my mind. And the first chapter especially, stress is beneficial. Oh my goodness, everything, the whole book moved me. But without you asking me, I have to tell this to you, Sagar bhai. I would not be doing justice and if I do not say this. The first chapter about when you describe about how you were Mumbai floods and that you, at the end of it, your mother said one thing. Thank God we are alive. सबसे बड़ी बात है, बहुत बड़ी बात है. Count your blessings. Now, again, it could have been on the crossroad of thinking, oh, इतना नुकसान हो गया, इतना damage हो गया, we lost so much. But no, you counted your blessings. So, crossroad, something, I think it's a very positive thing where you have to take a life.
Okay. So while you said that, sir, it brings me to a point where, this goes out to everyone who is joining us today. There's a lot of power in collective prayer. Please pray in your home and send your prayers to everyone who is facing the front line, whose people are not well. So I just have few lines for that. That a message is very, very simple, and it comes from one of my friend. And he says that I really hope you all are okay. We are being hit hard by this second wave, and we all have lost someone somewhere we know. No one knows how bad this pandemic is going to be. But when we are all together, we will all win alive. My best wishes to you all. So please pray and please send your prayers to everyone who is listening this. Sir, would you like to share a few words on this?
Sure. Sagar bhai, prayers really have magic. They really have a lot of power and they really generate positivity in our thoughts and in people around you who you wish well for as well. I'll give you an example again. I'll correlate your first chapter where stress is beneficial from the crossroads of life to today's scenario. When Mumbai floods happened, there were huge losses to life, property, a lot of things. In today's world, right now, as of today, the most beneficial thing I will tell you, if you do not have corona, you're doing well. If you're not tested positive, you're doing well. If you have two eyes, two hands, two legs, if you're fit, you're doing well. It's no more about earning a lot of money, buying a big house, buying a big car, going out, partying, getting a promotion, a business gain. No, if you don't have corona. तो ये बात
Yep.
अच्छे समझ लिए लोग. People don't understand that. People are still, guys, this too shall pass. बुरा वक्त है, निकल जाएगा. But don't lose heart. Don't quit. The small poem, Sagar bhai, I will recite. Especially for these times, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low, and when care pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. See, life is queer with its twists and turns, and all of us sometimes learn. And many a person turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. So don't quit.
Amazing. Amazing.
Though the pace slow, you may win. Father, for a faint and faltering man, often a struggler's given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. Success is failure turned inside out. The silver tint in the clouds of doubt. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worst, you must not quit. So not quitting at reaching the crossroad and taking a decision and standing by your decision is something which a person should do. As Rudyard Kipling wrote in this poem, If, I'm so sorry, I'm very fond of poetry, I'm very fond of reciting poems. So I'll tell you this poem which I learned in school. Rudyard Kipling's If, and every word is a golden word, every sentence, every line. And Rudyard Kipling writes, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust all men doubt you, but make allowance for the doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, or bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with one or tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. It's your heart and nerve and snoo to serve your turn after they are gone. And so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more. You'll be a man, my son. So Sagar bhai, this poem especially was for you because you have seen devastation happen before your eyes in the Mumbai floods. And the part where I said, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, that's for you.
Thank you, Ali
You
Bhai.
did that. Gentlemen, आप सब जानते होंगे about Sagar Amlani, but those of you who do not know, let me tell you, Sagar Amlani had suffered huge losses. They were shattered, they were devastated, but he built up it all up from scratch. And today, his family lives in a big house, in a plush house, and he built it up with, and he stooped and built it up with worn out tools. If he can do it, even you can do it. And the only thing that stops you behind is you, your own self, your mind. His mind, he could visualize it happen. He did it. Sagar bhai,
And
you are truly an inspiration to.
thank you very much, sir. But I am blessed to have a family who supported me through everything that I went. And I wish every listener that don't worry about it. Just ask and you will get the support. Don't be ashamed of asking. Don't be stressed about asking. Never be afraid of how should I ask or what should I ask. If you are in need, ask it, and the universe will give it to you. So on this platform, I thank everyone who has been helping me out, my family, and without their support, nothing is possible. So, sir, having said all this and such a wonderful poem, I want to know one crossroads in your life, one story, one incident, and your learnings from that.
Sagar bhai, when this pandemic came about last year in March 2020, and all my talks, I was scheduled to give some TEDx talks outside my country as well, and all my talks were getting cancelled. I thought over, and I will restart after good 3 years or whenever the pandemic gets over. Or I don't wait for things to happen to me. I make things happen. And I'm proud to say that I made things happen there. So I had a mental block to technology. I did not know how to handle Zoom, WebEx, Teams, Google Meet, to all these, and I downloaded them. For the first time ever in my life, I tried a Facebook Live, an Instagram Live, a YouTube Live. And to do a YouTube Live, let me tell you one more thing, Sagar bhai. The qualification was, the prerequisite was, you should have 1,000 subscribers at least on your YouTube channel. And I had only 7 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which we had just started. I told my family, my friends, my classmates, my near and bhai, सबको मैं जिम्मेदारी संभाल ली. All of you, please subscribe, and please get me maximum subscribers you can. Everyone pitched in, everyone got me 10 to 20 subscribers. People who had heard my TEDx talks, my Josh talks. And Sagar bhai, I didn't have to wait for a day. Same day, by evening, I had over 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Thank you. And the same day I did my first interview. So I was on a crossroad कि भाई दुकानें बंद हो रही हैं, मॉल्स बंद हो रहे हैं, लॉकडाउन हो गया है, कॉफी शॉप्स बंद हो रही हैं, सिनेमा हॉल्स बंद हो रहे हैं, मॉल्स बंद हो रहे हैं, बिजनेसेस ठप हो रही हैं, people are losing their jobs, they're suffering losses. On the other hand, I also knew of companies which were not just making profits, which were making multifold profits. And which companies were these? These were the digital companies, the online companies. So in the army, I had learned when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Now I say, when the going gets tough, online. So I went online, and I can tell you one thing: I got more work professionally online in the pandemic than I could have got in a normal scenario.
Wow.
That is why, again, I will illustrate this with one more example where one more poem, rather, poem, which Sohan Lal Dwivedi wrote this poem, जो कि हरिवंश बच्चन राय नाम के नाम से मशहूर हो गई सोशल मीडिया पे. क्यों? क्योंकि शायद अमिताभ बच्चन ने इसको कौन बनेगा करोड़पति में कहा था. So people started thinking it is Harivansh Bachchan Rai Saab's poem. It's actually Sohan Lal Dwivedi's poem. He wrote, लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. एक नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है. मन का विश्वास रगों में साहस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरकर चढ़ना ना करता है. मेहनत आखिर उसकी बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, जा जाकर खाली हाथ लौट आता है. मिलते नहीं सहजे मोती गहरे पानी में, बढ़ता दुगना उत्साह इसी हैरानी में. मेहनत आखिर उसकी बेकार नहीं हो, करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसे स्वीकार करो. क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो. कुछ करे बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. And this is all I got this inspiration from your book, bhai. All from your book.
Yeah. So there's one underlining principle that I keep sharing with the people that I meet who ask me that how do I achieve my dream? What do I do to achieve my dream? And all I say is a very simple funda. You should aim. Be aware of what you are. Do your SWOT analysis. Be aware of your gaps. Be aware of your support. Be aware of your resources. Once you are aware of who you are and where you want to be, invest the time to become what you want to. But at the core, have the right mindset, and nobody in this world can stop you from becoming what you want to be.
Absolutely, Sagar bhai, absolutely. In the year 1987, my sister, who was in school, was chosen to go for the Republic Day parade as a student from her school. And I have an uncle who was in the army at that time. He also was leading the Armored Corps contingent on 26 January 1987 at Rajpath, saluting the President of India. But my Nana, my grandfather, passed away on around 24th January. So we couldn't really, my sister and I, we couldn't take part in the parade, of course, to Meerut. But that dream, that idea stayed in my mind. Many times, अक्सर क्या होता है, हमारे माइंड में कहीं आइडिया आ जाता है, एक ख्वाब आ जाता है, one dream. We have to achieve that. एक जुनून, एक पागलपन, एक दीवानी के पागल हो जाए इंसान, उसको अपना सपना पूरा करना होता है किसी भी हालत में. I was one of those crazy mad characters. I didn't give up on my dream. I could visualize myself. I could see it happen, wearing an army uniform and saluting the president of a country, eye to eye. I could see that when I was growing up. After my class 12, Sagar bhai, I failed my NDA exam. I couldn't get through NDA, the National Defense Academy. Even though I had taken coaching and extra classes and I had worked very hard for it. But anyhow, in my graduation, I did my MCC and I sat for the CDS, the Combined Defense Services Examination through UBSC. I got through the army finally. I got, when the year I was leaving the army, the Short Service Commission, I was chosen to lead the Assam Rifles marching contingent, and I had two fractured legs at that time. Both my legs were fractured, but I used to take a heavy dose of painkiller and I would practice, and I made that dream happen. First was visualization. I could see it clearly before my eyes. I could see it actually happen. And the mind can achieve what it can conceive. Second was action, working towards it.
Yep.
And there's a 28-second video. I don't know if you would be able to share it. It's a parade का video है. अगर वो दिख जाएगा आपके इस पे तो बड़ा अच्छा होगा.
I've mentioned it on the comment for everyone. Please watch it.
All right, and the same link you can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well if you want. But it's a parade where I made that dream happen by Sagar bhai. And but let me tell you one more thing, and I'm not just generally saying it because I am here speaking to you. I actually meant it. I met Sagar bhai on 13th of March at Author Sherry's MS Talks event, and he presented me with a book, a signed copy. I have it with me, where one of my most prized possession, and I read that book. Inspired. The first chapter, literally, I had tears in my eyes. I was so moved by that book. And being a motivational speaker, I have spoken about your book in many of my talks. If you go through my YouTube channel, you'll find my talks. You'll find I've spoken about you and your books over there. Much before you contacted me yesterday, I said, Pele, because I was genuinely inspired by that book. Man. And I would recommend every single person to read it. And I'm telling this to you as a soldier, as a motivational speaker, as a person who learns management, that your life. It really will.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so humbled. But now that you've said chapter one so many times, I'm going to not allow you to say the same answer for this question. But I want to know, what is your favorite chapter? But you're not allowed to answer chapter number one.
all were good, bhai. But if I don't, I will tell you about the time when how you achieved all your dreams. Chapter one, certainly, because the first step when you open it, the book is there.
Yeah.
That I would certainly say. But the entire book was very inspiring, very inspiring, a life changer for a whole lot of people. Yeah, because many times in life we all, thanks Mayur, and very sweet comment. Many times we all come to a crossroad in life, and where we have to take a decision, we have to take a call, to decide that what we have to do. Thank you, Deepam. And we all decide when we take a decision. See, like, we all are scared to take a decision. Khalil Gibran wrote this poem, called Fear. And Khalil Gibran wrote, it is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. It looks back at the path it has traveled. Across the peaks of the mountains, the long winding roads crossing forests and villages. It sees an ocean so vast that to enter seems nothing more but to disappear forever. But there's no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river now takes the entering the ocean, because it is now that fear will disappear, and the river will know it's not about disappearing in the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. So it is about, because there's a crossroad पे आ गए ना, आपने निर्णय ले लिया, decision ले लिया, you took a call. Okay, I will head this way. Many times while driving as well. भाई गुड़गांव highway है, गुड़गांव Jaipur highway है. If you're this goes, flyover goes here, this goes to Jaipur, you don't know, and you take a wrong turn. उसके बाद मुड़ना बहुत मुश्किल होता है भाई, वहां से आप सीधा मुड़ेंगे तो कहीं और पहुंच जाएंगे आप. So that is a crossroad again. Similarly, while driving the same example, there will be times in life where you will decide what is to be done. Decision making is very important. I'll give you a small example. In the year 2003, I was posted at the Indo-Pak border at the line of control. We got information that a group of insurgents have crossed over and they're hiding in a hut in a village. So we immediately, being army officers, we took our men. I was the QRT commander, the quick reaction team commander. We cordoned the house in that village. And there was a senior of mine, Captain Seni. At that time, I was a lieutenant. And I was 23 years old that time. So Captain Seni said, okay, I'm going inside the hut to neutralize the insurgents. No one is going to come after me. And he very swiftly entered the hut. And the moment he entered the hut, all we could hear was, and I was second in command. I was like, okay, अंदर गोलियां चल रही हैं, मैं अंदर जाऊं कि नहीं जाऊं? जाना था, मगर क्योंकि मैं हुक्म आया था, my senior officer commander had instructed no one going to come inside. So I stayed put there, and I want to go in. Just when I edged a foot, I saw Captain Seni coming out of the hut. He had neutralized the insurgents. And that night, when we sat down for dinner in the officers' mess, he told me, you know, Ali, there came a moment where I had come face to face with the insurgent. 1 meter difference and 1 meter distance. And now I had to take a call. It all mattered on who will pull the trigger first. I just ended up pulling the trigger, and I'm here alive to tell the tale. Had he pulled the trigger first, then it's like, उस बात पे एक और पोएम मेरे को याद आई, थॉमस हार्डी की पोएम है, सुनिए. It's about two soldiers who meet in a, again crossroad वाली बात रही, who meet in a hypothetical situation. Had they not met in the battlefield or the war front, had they met in a bar, how things would have been different. Had he and I but met in an old ancient inn, we should have sat us down to wet with many a lipperkin. Lipperkin is a measurement of beer. Like 1 liter, 1 lipperkin. But staring, I'll say again, had he and I but met by an old ancient inn, we should have sat us down to wet, to drink, by many a lipperkin. But raged as infantry, staring face to face, I shot at him as he at me and killed him in his place. I shot at him because he was my foe. Just so, yes, he was my foe. That's clear enough, although I thought he would lisp perhaps, just as I, without a word traps, no other reason why. Yes, faint and curious war is. You shoot a fellow down. You would treat if met where any bar is or held to half a crown. तो आपको जब वो डिसीजन लेना पड़ता है ना, you got to be a commander. You got to take a decision, a bold, and stand by it.
Yeah.
अभी हम 26 जनवरी पे, like that link you shared of mine over there, we see Suryakiran formation, we see diamond formation, we see Air Force aircraft doing formations. You can imagine a split second pilot in the coordination. If they go wrong, it can be a disaster in midair.
Yes.
So you got to think very actively and decide क्या decision लेना है अभी. Wing Commander Abhinandan in 2019 when he crash land into the Pakistan territory, all he said was, I am not supposed to tell you that. कोई माथे पे शिकन नहीं थी. Very brave, got calm, composure. He conducted himself very well, and he was on the crossroad of life. Of life.
Yeah.
But that was bravery.
Sure.
Recently, 2 days back in Kalyan in Wangni in Mumbai, there was a video which went viral of a man. A train was coming, and there was a child on the railway track who had fallen, and this man is dashing towards a running, moving train, and he picks up the baby and moves out from the platform. He was on the crossroad. अगर वो चाहते, वो जनाब क्यों जाए, अपनी रिस्क क्यों वहां पे.
Very true.
अपनी जान जो बच्चे को भी हटाया, बिल्कुल फिल्म का सीन था भाई. बिल्कुल, पर हकीकत में हुआ. थैंक यू श्रीनिवास जी. तो that is a crossroad. And
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
speaking.
Yeah. So thank you very much for such amazing poems and such insightful conversations. I'm sure everyone who is watching has been reminded of Haider, has been reminded of Agent Vinod, has been reminded of Bajrangi Baijan, or even so many debates on so many news channels. Because the energy that you bring, Major Saab, is infectious, and thanks a ton. So, any parting comments for today and any feedback for the listeners for today?
Once again, I will tell them, tough times. Don't quit when the tide is lowest, for it's just. Don't quit over doubts and questions, for there's something you may learn. Don't quit when the night is darkest, for there's just a moment until dawn. Don't quit when you run the furthest, for the race is almost won. Don't quit when the hill is steepest, for your goal is almost nigh. Don't quit, for you're not a failure. Come on! Unless and until you fail to try. To try something or not, it is better you end up trying it and then failing in that. Doesn't matter. आपने कोशिश तो करी भाई, आप फेल हो गए, कोई बात नहीं. आपने कोशिश आप कोशिश ही नहीं करेंगे ना, तो आप श्योर शॉट फेलियर होंगे उसमें. You will definitely be a failure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm sure the comments have not stopped for flowing. I mean, comments have been flowing. I mean, I don't know which comment to pick and show, and I mean, it's just getting full. So thank you very much, sir. And if you have liked this conversation, if you want to get connected with Major Mohommed Ali, the links of his Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are shared in the conversation. I will be sharing them again. And he is also conducting sessions recently online for the needy people at a very affordable rate, and that is his initiative of giving back to the society. So please get connected to Major Saab, and I'm sure you will get bundle of energy from him. Thank you very much, sir.